Hey, everybody, welcome back to Real Talk with QHT. I'm your host, George Herrera, and today I am not flying solo. I have a special guest. We flew her all the way in from Astoria, Queens.
Hey.
It's very hard to get this lady. She's in high demand. All her clients are demanding all her time, and she's always busy with the team, and very hard to get her. But we spoke to her people, and we were able to book her for a 20-minute slot. So welcome my co-host here, Abigail Herrera.
Well, hello, world. Thank you for having me, George Herrera.
Yes. All right. So we're here and we're going to run through just try to do a recap. Apologies for not putting out an episode in a while. You know, we've been really busy with the team and with our clients and our sales, but here we are.
And the beach, too, you know.
And the beach, enjoying the last bit of summer. I mean, the weather's been pretty good. So
Long Beach, that is.
yes. So here we go. So we're in September, the third week of September. The summer ended, you know, pretty much the summer, right? The August ended. So now we're in the beginning of the third quarter of the year. And so we're just going to give you a quick rundown of what we've been seeing in the market. So first thing
Wait,
first.
can I just make a comment?
Yes.
You know how long it's been since you've done a podcast because the microphone's dusty.
No, I know. They're so dusty. We need to clean these things.
No, that's how long it's been. It's been waiting for you to use
Abby's such a clean freak, so that's of course what she's gonna notice.
it. It's the dust.
Okay, so
Okay,
first
back to
thing,
business. Sorry.
as we always start on the episodes that I usually do, is a question of the week. So we have a question of the week, and I'm gonna let you answer since you're my special guest.
What is the meaning of life?
No, that would be a much longer episode.
Oh, okay. That's the first
So-
thing popped in my mind.
Question of the week, Abby, what happens if something isn't working at final walkthrough?
Okay. From whose perspective?
Both.
Okay. you
Something's
mean-
not working at final walkthrough. What happens?
Okay. Well, generally, what happens at a final walkthrough, whether you're on the buyer's side, seller side, or the realtor side, essentially you just want to first make sure that it's in fact not working. Something that is not
so
working. Because
verify.
we've also come across that where perhaps whoever was checking it didn't know how to check it properly, and
Yeah.
we've discovered that things have actually worked.
Yeah.
You know, that were perceived to not work.
Yes.
So, but first you want to make sure the accuracy of it working or not. And if it doesn't work, then at that point you're just going to make your list. Hopefully, it's just one list, one note on one list.
Yeah. Maybe
of
we can
something
even
not working.
define final. So final walkthrough is done when?
Right before the closing. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I've seen walkthroughs happen anywhere from the morning of closing up to 72 hours.
Yeah,
But you
so-
generally do it right within the closing time period.
Within like a few days, a day, same day to like 2 or 3 days
Yeah.
before closing. And
hence 72 hours.
yes, and the long end of the range. Yes, and then when they go there, the buyers are checking out the house to make sure that everything is still the way that they originally saw it.
Yes,
Right, and
exactly.
make sure
the way that they
things are
originally
working.
saw it.
Make
You
sure the
know.
roof isn't caved in. There's no active leaks, things like that. They're checking it out before closing.
Yeah.
And on occasion, something will not be working. It can happen.
So,
where-
for example, let's give
Mm-hmm.
an example. Let's say the property had a dishwasher. It was working at the time of home inspection,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden it's not working at the final walkthrough. Then what happens is you want to make sure that it is in fact not working. And if it's not working for some reason, you try to identify perhaps what it is that is the issue.
Uh-huh.
If that can't be figured out at the walkthrough, then you go to the closing. You discuss it with your lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the closing table, between both parties, we try to come to a fair agreement. What
Yeah.
makes sense? So if the dishwasher is not working, then most times the seller will then give a credit to the buyer for the non-functioning dishwasher.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there can be different types of things that aren't working, right? So one thing could be a dishwasher, which is relatively minor, right?
Correct.
One thing could be you turn on a bathroom faucet and you realize that right under the faucet there's a leak when you turn on the water, and it's not a crazy big leak, but
Like drips,
it's
something.
dripping, right? So there could be something like that, also relatively minor. And those usually turn out to be negotiated in some form of a credit to the buyer.
Yeah, in most cases, it's a form of a credit. If it's something like minimal, such as like
Yeah.
let's say it is a slow leak and it is dripping underneath the sink, between the buyer and seller, in my opinion, what I've seen, they just try to work out an agreement where it's a reasonable credit,
Yes.
Now, in cases where sellers
Larger,
are like let's say larger, or let's just say the seller, no, I know I can resolve this on my own, and
They might take
I
care
want
of
to
it.
fix it on my own.
Yeah.
Because what the buyer's party is trying to say that a credit should be, let's say it's outrageous.
Yeah.
Then at that point, there can be an agreement where the money is held in escrow, a certain amount, and then it will be the responsibility of the seller to fix it after the closing.
Yeah.
And once it's confirmed that it's been fixed, which they take care at their expense,
Yeah.
then the money is released from escrow.
Yes.
So that's the alternative.
Yeah, and that's the two ways that it's usually handled. But the minor ones, like Abby had mentioned, the minor ones typically are handled with a credit. And then if something major isn't working, so heat isn't working, or plumbing, electrical, or heat in one of the rooms, a leak from the roof, water going into the basement, something that is more of a material issue of something not working, those can become more problematic. And if it's something really major where the buyer just does not feel comfortable closing with that issue open, then the closing can get adjourned. It can get postponed.
Yes,
because it has to be addressed if the buyer doesn't feel comfortable. If everyone is okay to move forward with the closing, then that can turn into money held in escrow, where the seller would be responsible for repairing it, or a much bigger credit to the
Correct.
buyer.
Yeah.
So it all depends, but it doesn't
It's-
mean you're not going to close. It just means that it has to be addressed. And if you're the agent or the buyer or the seller, anyone involved in the transaction, when you realize at the final walkthrough something's not working, record a video, take a picture, make sure you document it so you can share it with your attorney and show them what came up. And then, because they'll be the one to negotiate with the other attorney to figure out what is the win-win agreement.
And I would want to make one point, is that I believe that, in my opinion, it's very important that if something, let's say a buyer is doing we're at the walkthrough, the buyer's doing the walkthrough, and there are things that they've noticed, but they didn't mention it during the walkthrough, but instead they mentioned it and brought it up at the closing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that. I mean,
No.
you want to discuss that
Yeah.
at least at the walkthrough, because it gives the opportunity, even if it's within a 24-hour time period, a seller can make sure, like I've seen where clients have been able to resolve the issue prior to closing, so
Yeah.
it got handled. But don't wait until the closing to
Yeah.
address it. I mean, the closing, no one wants to adjourn a closing. It takes so much just to get to the closing
Yes.
table. But, it's better to communicate on what's going on, so that way it gives the opportunity for the realtor or the seller to resolve the issue
Yeah.
prior to closing. And if it's not resolvable by then, that's when at the closing table, it's just bringing a meeting of the minds
Yeah.
to figure out a win-win agreement between the
Yes.
buyer and seller.
And at the end of the day, try to stay reasonable. Keep any of your requests, whatever comes up, just be reasonable. Don't be unreasonable. And there should be no reason why you can't come to a win-win agreement if something's not working.
Especially at a closing. I mean, emotional levels are such high most times, and so it's buying and selling property is an emotional experience. But as George mentioned, try to keep your composure as best as possible,
Yes.
because it just helps to make everything simple at the closing.
Yes.
Everything can be discussed.
Yes, definitely. All right.
All
So
right.
next segment, okay, we give aha or a tip of the week. So
Okay.
since it's two of us, I figure one of us gives an aha, one of us will give a tip of the week.
Okay.
So aha, give me an aha of the week. And we were just talking, we just had a closing today for a property we sold in Richmond Hill. You had an aha from that one, right? For the deal we just closed.
I would just
Or
say,
any aha you wanna share?
yeah. So we have certain rules. We can't disclose what. I would like to just keep this very general. This goes across whether buyer, seller, realtor, lawyer, banker, lines of communication. Please keep them open. Obviously, you would do things to protect yourself and your interests, but communication allows for everyone to work well together. Even if you're on one side or the other side, if you can all work together as a team on your side, and then you have the buyer's part or seller's part on the other side, lines of communication will allow for a much easier experience, especially for the clients,
Yeah.
meaning buyers and sellers. So that's my biggest thing, is that when you're working with a real estate agent, when you're working with a lawyer and a banker, it's very important that you find and use someone that not only gives you great service, but great service means communicating and also
Yeah.
being there when you have questions. Don't disappear once
Yeah.
you go into contract, things like this.
If you're
That's
an agent.
really my
Yeah.
biggest thing. Not even just agent, banker, lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
Who is the dream team in a real estate
Yeah.
transaction? When you're on the buyer side, your lawyer, your
Mm-hmm.
lender, your real estate agent.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you have someone that's going to communicate well with you to keep you at ease.
Yeah. And I think the aha here that we had was just how problematic or how poor of an experience, how much it can be affected when you have lack of communication.
Correct.
So if you have attorneys or agents or lenders, people who aren't communicating well and just keeping each other in the loop, it can have so many people in the dark. It can create frustrations on the seller side, on the buyer side, on the agent side. It just becomes like a more frustrating process. Whereas when you have deals where everyone is communicating, even if issues are coming up, it's smoother because people are talking, people are resolving the issues, they're keeping each other in the loop. But when you have lack of communication, everyone's in the dark, and it leads to frustrations.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So that's a good aha. Communication. Whether you're an agent listening, buyer, seller, lender, make sure you're in constant communication on your deals.
Yes.
All right. So next segment is our new listings. Any new
Wait,
listings of the week?
you said aha
Oh.
or a tip.
Oh, yes, I do have a tip though.
Okay.
My tip is, if you want to follow the where mortgage rates are trending, is follow the 10-year treasury. And our whole team has been doing this. I've always been doing this, but now our whole team does it too. And if you follow the 10-year treasury yield, that tends to correlate closely with mortgage rates. So when the 10-year goes down, then the 30-year fixed rate mortgage or mortgage rates tend to go down. If it goes up, then the mortgage rates tend to go up. So that's a good way to follow it. If you want to start tracking that on a weekly basis, you can actually see how the rate they are very much correlate with each other.
And the
So
10-year
that's a tip.
treasury, does the mortgage rates follow that?
Yeah, it's closely related. So
Okay.
it's pretty much, if you're in the market to buy, let's say you're in contract and you're looking at when to lock your rate, something you could do once you're in contract is just monitoring daily the 10-year treasury and seeing where it's trending and see where it's going, and then trying to choose a good time to lock at that point. But definitely, if you want to see where mortgage rates are trending, you can follow the 10-year treasury. That's a little tip there.
All right.
All right.
Interesting. Thank you.
And now the next segment is new listings. So any new listings we have for the week?
Okay, so particularly for this past week, our team has just listed a 2-family property in Brooklyn.
Oh,
and
yes.
This one, please give a little bit of details.
It's in Flatbush. So I'll put the link in the show notes. But it's a 2-family in Flatbush, Brooklyn, for $995. It's attached on both sides, 2/2 with a finished basement. So definitely, 2-family under $1 million, always a hot commodity in New York City. So we'll put that in the show notes. We'll put the link there for the details. And the other one is a 2-family in Jamaica that we just listed for $875. And this one is a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath owner duplex over 1-bedroom, 1-bath, newly renovated unit with a gorgeous backyard.
Yes.
It has like really picturesque, nice canopy and a hot tub that's
Plenty
staying
of,
with the
also
sale.
a lot of parking.
Yes, private driveway.
Yeah, we have also a YouTube video tour available
Yeah.
if you research that property as well.
Yes. So I'll put the link for that
very
one.
Nice one. A lot of activity on that one.
Yeah, I'll put the link for that one in the show notes also.
Okay.
And now the next segment of what we always talk about are mortgage rates, the stock market, the economy, anything new that we're noticing. Okay.
All right.
So
I
first
like
thing.
where this is going. Hey, I had no idea
Tell me
the
more. I'm
structure.
so excited.
Goodness.
Economy. Yay, economics. This is Abby's favorite section, so I'm just going to let her take over here.
Every time I get on this podcast and I hear myself in the microphone and then I hear my laugh, it reminds me of that cartoon back in the day, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, I never
You don't
watched
know?
that. No.
Because his laugh is pretty funny. He laughs like
Go do it.
laughs like somebody has been smoking for a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah. Abby has a smoker's laugh for sure. All right. Okay. So here
Anyway.
we go. Mortgage rates.
See, I make this so interesting.
If you must say so yourself. Yes. So
Okay,
mortgage
economics,
rates.
yay.
Yes. So mortgage rates right now, they just this week broke 6% again.
Again.
So like August 1st, the 10-year treasury was at like 2.6%. And mortgage rates were, I think they were in the mid fives, low fives to mid fives. And right now, the 10-year treasury is 3.45%. So right back to the highs of earlier this year. And earlier this year, or maybe the beginning of the summer, I think in June, we saw them break 6%, and then they came down. And we just hit 6% again. And just today, one of our team members threw in our group chat that it was at 6.3%. 6.30. So you're talking low to mid sixes right now for a standard conventional 30-year fixed rate mortgage, which is pretty much, that's pretty high. You know, we usually see when it hits 6%, you kind of can feel the impact in the market and on demand. So we'll see what happens over the next month or two. But as of right now, we're in the low to mid sixes.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
tell me a little bit about. I mean, for me, when I hear this, it can certainly make people a little nervous. But in the end, it's like I told someone the other day. It's all about what can you afford. What is
Yes.
affordable for you? If you want to become a homeowner, you just have to work out the numbers and find a property that fits into your budget.
Yeah.
So if the interest rates are higher, that means that you have to essentially find a property that is more reasonable in pricing for you.
Yes.
You might have to make some adjustments of your needs, your desires, your must-haves, things that you can part ways with. Because in the end, one of the biggest real estate investments you can make is in real estate.
Yes, yeah.
So
So
that's how I
definitely
see
it
it.
shouldn't, if you're in the market to buy, if your credit is good and your income is good and you have a pre-approval and you're actually able to purchase a property, this is no reason to get out of the market.
Yeah, it's like you and I. We're still searching for an investment property.
Yeah.
And it's not going to stop us from searching for an investment
No.
property. We just have to find something that still works within our budget.
And you might be a little more cautious, because of the economic conditions. But I hear, we hear a lot of buyers who are just, taking a pause on the search, waiting
Sure.
till next year, see what happens. And by all means, people can do that, but you can miss a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think
know.
that just comes down to motivation because
Yeah.
I feel that people that are taking a pause, perhaps they weren't really in that need to get that property.
Good point.
But everybody has their own times in life where purchasing or selling is important. So
Yes.
it comes down to, are you motivated or not?
Yeah.
Are you okay to wait? Yeah, sure, whatever. In the end, it's your life. You have to think about what makes sense for you.
Yes. And like we say in the business, you don't live on the price, you live on the payment. You don't live on the mortgage rate, you live on the payment. So just focus on the monthly payment, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. Get an idea of what that monthly payment is that you can afford, that you feel comfortable with, and just run your numbers. Just like Abby said, for us, we're looking for investment properties and we just run our numbers. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And
Yeah.
you just keep looking.
Then you keep looking for the one that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. So definitely, but right now, considering where we've been from January 1st, we are back at the highest level for mortgage rates that we've seen in the whole year. So we'll see what happens here, whether we stabilize here, whether we go up or down. But that's where we're at right now, low to mid sixes
All
on the
right.
rates. All right.
Yay.
Now, how about the stock market? How's the stock market doing, Abby?
Oh, I hear that it rained today. Oh,
Oh,
wait, no, the plumbing. Something with the plumbing. It's
stock market.
flooded.
Oh, because you heard me earlier.
What did you say
I
again?
said the stock market's taking a bath today.
I knew it was something relating to water. I could not remember. It took a bath.
So yeah, it's definitely
See,
it's not good. Yeah.
I am not that stock market expert as
Uh
you
huh.
are.
So stock market is it's down. Yeah, it's the inflation print came in higher than expected earlier this week. And as soon as the inflation print came out and it was higher than they were expecting, the market went down like 5% that day. So
But
we had a big down day this week.
one thing I did learn from you, though, what happens when the stock market goes down? All of a sudden, you see a bunch of buyers coming in.
Well, I was telling Abby, once you see the S&P 500 hit 20% down from the highs, because that's such a rare occurrence, you do tend to see the buyers come in, and then it holds that level and it usually bounces back a little. So
So, can you
yeah.
tell us a little bit about, like, give the listeners and the viewers 3 stocks you bought today?
Oh, okay. I'm not a
And
financial advisor,
yes,
so this is
okay.
not
That's
financial
what do you say?
advice.
What's the disclaimer?
Uh-huh.
You are not a financial advisor.
Yes, yeah.
This is the Herrera's choice
Yes, so
for
these
our
are our
family
choices.
decisions.
And
Give
so
three pieces that you bought and why.
the VOO, which is the S&P 500 index fund.
Voo.
Yeah, yes, VOO. The Qs, the QQQ.
QQQ.
Uh-huh.
I
So
love
that's
saying
the
that.
NASDAQ 100
Okay.
and VTI. VTI is the total stock market index.
All right.
Yeah,
And
VTI, VOO, the QQQ, and you can even throw in there MGK. That's mega cap growth.
oh, I thought that was a rap group.
A rapper, yes, that battled Eminem and lost badly. But back to stocks. MGK, don't come after me. I have bars. So
Wait, so tell us a little bit
So-
about why.
yeah, so the VOO is because that's the S&P 500 and it's only dropped 20% from the highs, I think like 12 times in I don't know how many years, 70 years, 80 years or something like that.
All
It's
right.
very rare. So it's a great time to start a position or add to your position in my opinion. So we bought there. The QQQ is down 30% from the high. Also very rare, so that's also a good opportunity. The VTI is 20% off the high, that's the total stock market, and the MGK is down 30% also. So it's just it depends how you look at these things, but if you think about different areas, asset classes where the opportunities are, there's definitely opportunities in the stock market right
Oh,
now.
wow. So
yeah.
MGK was down today, and he was also down when he lost to Eminem.
Oh,
sorry.
he was down for the count. So stock market took a bath
Okay.
this week.
Took a bath.
Yes, and so
a
that, and then
shower.
the other big point was just inflation came in higher. Energy was actually down, so they got energy to come down, but still the inflation came in pretty hot.
Well,
And
this-
so, and housing is a component there. So I think it's a lot due to the rents. We've been hearing here in New York City, all over the country, how rents just keep rising, and they're rising rapidly. So that I think is adding to the hot inflation. So I don't know what they're gonna do to try to tamper that down, but rents are rising. The housing is a big component of inflation, and inflation, services, goods, everything, they still came in higher than expected.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So last thing before we close up here will be our recommendations.
All right.
So you have any book, video, anything you've been watching
This
or
is my
listening
favorite
to?
section of the podcast.
She's been waiting this whole time. Let's just get to the recommendations. So any
Okay.
recommendation?
Well, I have a recommendation for a show that we were recommended to from our friend, The Real.
Okay.
Shout out to The Real.
Uh-huh.
So it's called Primal. And oh my
Ooh, yeah.
goodness, I
Fire.
love it. Fire. It's so good. It's on
HBO
Max, and it's animated. And it's basically about this guy, caveman back
Yeah.
in the day. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, there's so what's
It's so
really
good.
interesting is that there's no words.
Yes, yes,
There's
yes.
no
Sorry, I should have
talking
said that.
because it's primitive. It's
Yeah.
caveman, animals, dinosaurs.
It's awesome.
So it's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a
Anyway, Primal. So just check it
Primal.
out.
That's a good
That's
one.
my recommendation for show.
yes.
And then for reading, I am reading. I'm actually reading a couple of things, but this is one interesting. The Little Book of Mindfulness. It allows you to focus, slow down, and de-stress. And it's by
Yes.
Tiddy Rowan.
Yeah.
Tiddyrowan.
Yes.
But yeah, I like it because it just gives little messages. I mean, some of these lines are, you can have like 5 lines in here, and it helps me just to keep things simple. The book itself is so simple
It's
and
tiny.
small.
Yeah.
It allows you to really focus on the simplicity of the message
Yes.
that you're reading that particular day.
You can read a page a day
So
super fast.
I'll give one here. I'll just give one here right now. All right, here's one. Be mindful of how you behave towards other people, particularly in conversation. Concentrate on listening and engaging rather than letting your mind wander or thinking ahead to what you are going to say next. Stay in the moment. You'll be amazed by how much better the communication will be. So
Nice.
that was nice. I mean, hey,
That's
it's-
great for us in our business,
Yeah.
but for anybody.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean,
That's
it's
good.
nice.
Use your ears.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a great one, and I think we got this book when we were in like Nyack or somewhere in a little antique shop. I remember seeing that.
Nice.
So that's a great one. That's a good
How
one.
about you?
For me, I would say I heard this podcast. I'm big into like listening to health stuff and health podcasts, reading health books too. But I heard a podcast called From the Exam Room by the Physicians Committee. And the name of the podcast episode was Foods That Reverse Heart Disease. So if you're like us and you have people in your life or you know people who have heart disease or have had a heart attack or a mild heart attack or early signs of atherosclerosis or anything like that, then this is a great episode to share with people. And the doctor is really good. It's very easy to listen to, very easy to understand. And he talks about the foods you can eat that will help reverse heart disease because heart disease is reversible. So I shared this with several people that I know that have this. So I'll drop it in the show notes also. Feel free to share this too with anyone you know that might be able to use it.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Can I share one more thing?
Yes.
So outside of reading or watching TV, both you and I are also learning we're learning another language.
Yes.
Me particularly, I'm learning Spanish. I know some Spanish, but not fluent enough, and I want to eventually become really fluent in Spanish. And you are learning Vietnamese.
Yes.
So
I'm
that
learning.
is very cool. And we are learning it through the app Duolingo.
Yes.
We are not
Yes.
getting promoted or promotions, I should say, or paid promotions.
This is not sponsored.
This is not
by
sponsored by
Duolingo.
Duolingo.
Yeah.
But this is what we're doing. But
And,
and I like it because they have cartoons all over it.
Yeah, it's very easy to use.
fun.
Do one lesson a day, and it's like 3, 4, or 5 minutes.
It's so simple.
You can do it in like 5 minutes a day, and you actually, strangely enough, you actually start picking this stuff up.
So
you know,
tell me, the little girl wants orange juice.
Begay mung ungnuk ep tao. That's oh yes. Begay mung ungnuk ep tao.
Nice. I had no idea. I don't even know if you said what.
Yes,
I don't even know if that's real.
The little girl wants to drink apple juice.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, very
hey,
nice.
see, it's
Hey.
working. Hey, how about
Hey.
you? Say it in Spanish.
Oh, God. Oh, the little girl wants to drink orange juice.
I don't know how to say orange. That's why I couldn't do that. I know how to say apple.
La niña quieres jugar naranja, juego de naranja.
Oh, the little girl wants to play orange juice.
Oh.
Okay, that's nice. That's good. You're getting
Oh,
it.
la niña quieres beber
Uh-huh.
jugo de naranja.
Nice.
Is that
okay.
correct?
Quiere.
Oh,
But yes,
quiere beber.
that's close. Uh-huh.
Beber? Okay.
Jugo de naranja.
But
Hey.
beber, right? Beber.
Beber.
Okay.
Yes. There you go.
Hey,
Hey,
muchas
Duolingo.
gracias.
Get on it if you want to learn a language. Check it out.
Que
Duolingo.
lo que. Okay, sorry, that was a little much.
So you want to sign us off? That's it. That's the episode.
Oh my goodness. I was having
Yes.
so much fun today. Hey.
It's
Are you
Friday,
sure?
so
Wait, what's the timing on that?
we're 30 minutes
30
on
minutes?
the dot.
Oh, we should have been drinking like a beer or something while we were doing this. That would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Happy hour.
Okay. Anyway. Oh, well, I guess I'd like to wrap it up by saying thank you, George, for having me on your podcast today.
You're welcome. Thanks for carving out time in your busy schedule to join me.
I want to wish the world a bit of advice. Wherever you are, share peace, love, and kindness to those around you.
Yes. Yes.
And we wish you a great weekend.
Yes. Have a great weekend, y'all. Thanks as always for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode. Take care and have a great day.
Bye.